Everyone, welcome to this week's live video from the Purple Penny. My name's Mark. I own and run the Purple Penny along with my wife Catherine. We're a small family-owned coin and banknote dealer in the northern suburbs of Adelaide. We've been here for 4.5 years. I've been doing these videos for about 3.5 years of that time. This is the 40-something one of these videos that we've done this year, and welcome everyone who's watching today. Today's our live question and answer session. We do these once a month. Usually it's the last Monday of the month, but we're going to be busy next Monday, so there will be no video next Monday, so this is the last video for the month. Thank you for putting your questions in the comments on the posts that we've put up this morning. I'll do my best to answer as many as those as we can. Hello Peter, hello another Peter, hello Paul, hello Justin, hello Samantha, Greg, Michelle, Gwen and Adam. Right, last week we're still seeing, I guess, the tail end of a bit of quietness here in the coin market in Adelaide. We had the expo a couple of weekends ago, and of course lots of people spent lots of money and scratched their coin itches a couple of weekends ago, which is fine with us because it allows us to catch up on back office stuff. There is, for every hour that we're open here in the shop, there's probably 3 or 4 hours of work that needs doing in the background, and of course that's an equation that doesn't work. There's not enough hours in the week, so when we are quieter we do get on to other things that we probably don't share with you that much because they're not that exciting, but it has allowed us to get onto a few things this week. So 2 bits of news this week. Firstly, weirdest silver bar ever that came in last week. We've had a couple come in a few times now with bits and pieces from their parents-in-law's collection, who were Eastern European couple who passed away several years ago, and they're just clearing that out, and they brought this in because they didn't know what it was. They were going to throw it in the bin, but it turns out what it is a 999 silver bar. It weighs about 570 grams. You can see how long it is. It's got a hole on one end. There's a logo at one end, which is a H inside of brackets, so it's a no, it's not a H, it's an E inside of brackets. What it is an Engelhardt industrial bar, probably for electroplating. There's a hole there that you can suspend it. It's extruded. It's got no weight or fineness stamped on it, but we've tested it with our XRF, so that wins the prize as the weirdest silver bar that we've ever had come in here. And like I said, the owners of it were going to throw it away because they didn't know what it was, but thankfully they brought it in here. Oh, excuse my noise there. The other thing that we've got this week is that we have a pair of the Adelaide Expo P&Cs available. We had someone cancel on us that we'd put them aside for. So we're just making these available to a video viewer today. If someone's watching today live on Facebook, put a comment in the comments saying that you're interested in those. The price will be $75 for the pair plus $8 postage if you require postage. We'll need bank deposit payment on that. So if you are interested in getting that P&C pair, stick a comment in the Facebook comments and we'll choose someone at random to be able to buy those. $75 plus $8 postage if you require postage. So we'll just have a look at a few more comments here before we jump into the news. Hello David, hello Daryl, g'day Mike, hello Pauline, hello Janet, hello Mark, hello Kay, hello Kristala, hello, someone says here, I have some Vegemite and soccer $2 coins. Can I now put a deposit on a Sydney waterfront? You sure can, as long as you only expect $2 per coin. Peter says, do you think the quiet money fairs in Perth and to some extent in Sydney are a result of other regular coin shows in those cities? Well, Peter, that's a really interesting question. You know, some people might say that it's cost of living and people not having money to spend, but you know, I think maybe a coin show might be a one or two a year thing. Sydney and Melbourne do have regular coin fairs, as does Perth, and perhaps that's enough to satisfy the itch that some people have to attend coin shows, whereas here in Adelaide we really only have one. And if you want to go to a coin show, that's it. Whereas in Perth, of course, the P&S has their shows. There's the ANDA shows, and then there's the Philatelic Expo that's coming up next weekend. Sydney, they have the ANDA show, and then they have the Petersham shows. In Melbourne, they have the Geelong show, the Moonee Pond show, and then the ANDA shows as well. So perhaps it is the regular shows that are causing that. There is only a limited market. Hello, Damien. Hello, Carolyn. Hello, Sandra. And there's another J there. And hello, Matt. How are you going? Right, let's jump into the news here. As I said, there'll be no video next week. Catherine and I are busy doing something else. Gold and silver had a real jump up in the last 7 to 10 days, and probably due to the goings on in the Middle East. People tend to go to safe havens when there's world troubles, and it's always been considered that precious metals are a bit of a safe haven. So gold saw an all-time high in Australian dollar terms last week, about $31.40 an ounce. Silver has gone from about $33 an ounce to almost $37 an ounce in a similar period. And certainly here in the shop we have been turning over a lot of gold. A lot of gold coming in, a lot of gold going out. Many $200 coins moving through here. Now, what's it going to do in the longer term? I have no idea. And anyone who tells you that they do doesn't know. If the world continues to be a troubled place, it'll probably go back, keep going up or hold. If the goings on in the Middle East calm down, then maybe it'll fall back a bit. That has been my observations. The Royal Australian Mint won another award for their $2 honeybee coin that was released last year. Now, of course, they won an award back in August for that. They won another one at the Mint Directors Conference, which is a conference of mint coin producing mint professionals and marketers and suppliers and things like that. Generally, that conference is held every 2 years. It was held in October, just this month, in Canada, hosted by the Royal Canadian Mint, and the honeybee coin won Best Circulating Design as voted by attendees at that show. So congratulations to the Royal Australian Mint for that. There is a fairly hilarious article up online by, I think it was Yahoo News or maybe Channel 9 News, covering this and then mentioning that back in August that the another coin had won an award, another Australian coin had won an award, and then the journalist had confused the 1 ounce silver version with the 1 ounce gold version and suggested that the price had skyrocketed to over $3,000 a coin. So, don't believe what you read in coin articles in the news, really, because the journalists have to churn out those things as quickly as possible, and a lot of the time the facts are dubious at best. Right, next news item. There is a show on in Perth from November 2nd to November the 5th. It's the Perth 2023 National Stamp Exhibition. The Mint's going to be doing a coin swap there, so if you are in Perth from November the 2nd to November the 5th at the Gloucester Park Racecourse, the Mint will be there doing their usual coin swap thing, which is where you swap a $10 note for a bag of 5 coloured $2 coins. They'll be doing the Indigenous Military Service and end of World War II $2 coin again, which is what was here at the expo. So do get into that if you are in Perth. No doubt that will be popular and get quite a few people into the stamp exhibition. The Mint announced some investment coin releases last week, and that was Tiger Snake coins. There's going to be a 1 ounce silver version and a 1 ounce gold version. The silver version has a face value of $1. The gold version has a face value of $100. Now, it's important to realise that these investment coin releases are not made available to Mint resellers like us, or official Mint resellers like us. So how do we get them? We get on the phone and ring up and get them like everyone else. So, as a consequence, we don't usually bother getting hold of them because you can get them off the mint at exactly the same price that we can. What's the price? Well, your guess is as good as mine. The mint defines the price as being the bullion price plus a premium, and you only lock in a price when you ring up on the day. So we won't be getting them. If you do want them, do try and get hold of them yourself directly from the mint, and I do wish you the best for that. So a few more hellos here. Hello Angela, hello Wendy, and Ben. I'm doing fine, thank you, Ben. Right, next item here was some. I'm going to finish off with a couple of metal detecting finds today because I do enjoy the metal detecting stories that come out of the UK. The first one here is a couple of really spectacular gold coins that just sold recently at auction. They're gold ryals or ryals of Edward IV. So they date to sort of the late 1400s. And both of them were found by the same metal detectorist several years ago. Each one is about 35 millimeters in diameter and 7.7 grams of gold, so that makes them quite large but very thin coins. They're about the same size as a 50-cent piece, and they were found a short distance from the Battle of Bosworth site. And the Battle of Bosworth was basically the culminating battle of the English War of the Roses, and it was there that Richard III met his demise. Richard III being the last British monarch that died in battle, and Richard III is probably one of the best known medieval British monarchs because of course his corpse was found in a car park about several years ago, and that there was a movie made about that and several documentaries because he was buried by people who didn't want his body to be found. He was buried in a monastery, and that was located in a car park by a group of archaeologists and a member of the Richard III Society. So if you are interested in that particular topic, there's plenty of videos of that online about the finding of Richard III's body. The next item here is another metal detecting story, and this one comes from the West Mercian police. A coin hoard was found in Herefordshire in August in a small village there by two men who should know better. It was dug up. It was 300 gold and silver coins, and they were so excited by their find that they actually gave some of them away to spectators who were watching what they were doing. Now, the two men in question failed to declare their find to British authorities because in England, of course, they have very specific rules about what you have to do with things when you dig them up, and that means gold and silver coins. You have to report them to the authorities and turn them over. They failed to do so, and they were both arrested and have been charged for not declaring a significant treasure find. And they gave some of the coins away to members of the public, and Historic England and the police want them back. So they're appealing to locals of that particular village to hand those coins back to the police. They're not going to be in trouble, but English Heritage wants the coin. Historic England wants the coins back because they do actually come from a period of strife in England in the mid 1600s, which was the English Civil War, and they're a fairly significant archaeological find that could help with the historical record of that particular event. Right, so we'll just have a look at the comments first before we jump into the questions for today. Thank you everyone who's asked a question. We will cover the questions that people asked in my post first before we jump to the questions in the comments. Hello Angela, how you going? Right, we will just answer a couple questions here. Ben, do you know when the Mint are doing November releases? Yes, and I can't say anything about it. They may or may not be doing releases, but there is something going on in the background, and we'll let you know as soon as we know. Mike says that the 1 ounce investment coins are usually around $47. And Steve says he likes to metal detect around old properties. Hello Andrew, how are you? Right. So I've answered the question about whether we get investment coins from the mint. The answer is sometimes, but we won't be getting these ones. So thank you for the person who asked that question. Another person asked if there was going to be a King Charles III roll released. I'm quite sure there will be, but we have no idea when that'll be. But I would expect that next year the mint will do $2 roll releases again, and they'll probably have Charles portraits on them. But of course, that is pure conjecture. We had a gentleman ask us about how to get notes graded. He'd bought some banknotes from us, and they were graded by us. They were in our holders with our stickers on them with grades on them, and he wanted to know how he could get other notes graded that way, because he had bought other notes that weren't graded. Now, grading notes is like grading coins. It takes experience and a fair bit of knowledge and a fairly keen eye. I grade all the notes in here along with Jared, and we're fairly conservative note graders. How other dealers grade their notes, I have no idea. I really take no notice of grades that dealers have written on their coins and banknotes. I grade each one on its merits. Now, if you want your notes graded, you're quite welcome to bring them in here, and I'll spend a couple of minutes having a look at them for you and give you what I think they grade at. Otherwise, you could ask the dealers themselves where you bought them, but of course you can get them graded by third parties, which is PCGS or PMG, the paper money guarantee, which is the note version of NGC. That of course does cost money, $50 or $60 a note, and the note will be gone for 6 to 12 months. So the gentleman who asked that question, you're quite welcome to bring your notes that you've purchased somewhere else, bring them in here, and I'll spend a few minutes looking at them for you. I'm not going to stand here and grade 1,000 notes, but I'm happy to grade a couple, just to give you an idea of what it is that you're buying. So thank you to the person who asked that question. We had someone ask us about mint sport errors. Now, mint sport errors are errors that have escaped from mints and probably been created deliberately by mint staff, whether they've made them to sell, whether they make them as a bit of mischief and somehow they do get out of the mint, is unclear. So a good example of that would be the 2007 double-headed 5 cent. Apparently they were made deliberately by a mint staff member who then released them into circulation, whereas in the Royal Australian Mint in the 1970s, I'm told, and I don't know if this is true, that mint staff would make things and walk out with them in their pockets. Again, I don't know if that's true, but certainly many of the double obverse and reverse proof and unk coins come from the 1970s. Then there's also deliberately created mules and things like that. So they're called mint sport because it's mint staff playing games. Now, do I consider them to be errors? Well, I guess technically they are errors because they're not supposed to be made that way, but were they made in error? No, they weren't. What about the ownership of them? If they were made deliberately by staff and then removed from the premises, then technically they are stolen property. I've never heard of a case of the mint chasing, here in Australia at least, chasing down people to get them back. The 2007 doubleheader, for example, I think the mint would be crazy to try and chase those and get them back, because that has brought untold publicity regarding the mint's products, and the mint's all about creating interest in coins. So I personally wouldn't buy them. Would I be concerned that the mint might one day try and get them back? Here in Australia, probably not. But that being said, the US Mint did pursue owners of 1933 double eagles, which were not supposed to have been released from the mint over there. They pursued them, the owners of those coins, for many years. So just because the Royal Australian Mint today isn't choosing to chase the owners of deliberately made double headers and reverse coins from the 1970s doesn't mean that in 20 or 30 years time they might not decide to do so. It's certainly a murky area, and something that a legal expert should probably comment on rather than myself. Peter says, thank you Peter, I was hoping Peter would comment on this. Peter says he calls those sorts of mint sport errors purposes rather than errors because they were made on purpose. And he's heard similar stories of 1970s mint staff deliberately creating and removing mint sport errors. And then he says that the mint did see some double-headed or double-tailed coins in the 1980s. Now, I wonder why they don't do it anymore. I suspect because it's probably a bigger thing than what they realise, and it probably wasn't worth the effort. Now, next question. Someone asked what the price of a 2012 MS69 Red Poppy was, and we had one of those just recently. We sold it for $2,600. Now, I got told that that price was probably a little bit low, so that gentleman who asked that question about where the market is at with those, we sold that 3 weeks ago for $2,600. So hopefully that answers your question. Next question was about the mythical $2 set that someone noticed that there had been a currency determination for another $2 anniversary set that had 10 coins or 12 coins. To be honest, I haven't read the currency determination. It's a question we've been asked about several times a week for the last 3 or 4 months. It's getting very tiring answering the same question. No one on Facebook has any special information, so the gentleman who came to see me at the expo, and I don't often get rendered speechless, but I did have someone come and see me at the expo, and he told me that they were being released on November the 7th, and that he had a screenshot of what they look like, and he then showed me the screenshot, and it was a really terribly photoshopped thing that a social media account on Facebook had created. And apparently he had someone with inside knowledge who said it was being released on November the 7th. Well, it's not. Okay, it's not being released on November the 7th. There's some chance that it will never get released. Just because a currency determination has been released for coins doesn't mean the coins are going to be released. And with all the goings on at the moment, with the change of portrait and the mint's production problems and sourcing packaging and things like that, you only need to look back at the last several months to know that they are really struggling to keep on top of just their normal business. There is a good chance that it will never happen. Now again, that's just pure speculation. It'll happen, it won't happen. No one has any special inside knowledge. We are mint distributors. We get all the same update emails that all the mint distributors do. And the second we know what's happening, we will let you all know via our social media channels. And that's it. Everything else is just pure speculation. Pure speculation. And Peter says, we have not heard about next year's mint and proof sets yet. And again, yeah, Peter's quite right. Usually next year's mint and proof sets are announced around about now, and they're usually available in mid-November to the end of November, and we know nothing about those either. And we've got a few comments here that I'll just share with you. Matt Battersby says he'll post a link to the determination shortly. David Trotter is saying that the currency determination was issued but's now been removed. So, you know, it's just all smoke and mirrors, and there's a lot of people on social media who like to think that they've got the inside knowledge and they've got some special information, but the truth of the matter is they don't, and no one knows. And as soon as we do know, we will let you know. Okay, so I hope everyone will take that in the spirit with which we have said it. So, right. Ben says, what's your opinion on the latest and a $1 coin? So far, the only 2023 $1 mob of is released. Yep, you're right, Ben. It is. What's my opinion on it? Long term, those 4 coin sets hold their price. They never go up very much. They never go down very much. Dollars as a denomination have not ever been popular. And I'll tell you the same thing that someone messaged me yesterday about whether it's worth getting. If you like it, buy it. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Is it going to go up or down in value? I have no idea. And JJ says that people are talking about the $2 folder to create traffic and followings. Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Okay, so Catherine Harris, who is a known troublemaker, says here, what if the $2 coin set had the Charles portrait? Just starting a cool rumour. So we did, Catherine and I, despite her lack of credibility, did talk about that last week. They may well have been ready to strike these things with the Queen's portrait on them, and then the Charles portrait was selected a few weeks ago, and the Mint could have said, no, we're not going to do it with the Queen's portrait. We will hold off and release it next year with the King's portrait on it. But again, pure conjecture. Pure conjecture. We don't know any more than what you do. And Samantha says that the only people who would know is the management of the RAM. And look, Samantha, you're right. They're the only people who know where the plans are now. But we have to remember that the Mint is a public service organisation, and a lot of their activities are dictated by politicians. And if there's a politician that has influence over the Mint who has a bug up his or her bottom about something to do with those $2 releases, they could put a kibosh on it. So Peter says the currency determination specified the Queen's memorial portrait. Thank you, Peter, for that. Right, I think that was all the questions. Don't forget, if you're interested in the Expo PNCs, $75. Just comment on the post if you're interested. We'll just pick someone at random, plus $8 postage if you need them posted. We did have someone ask us about pre-decimal terminology, such as dot above and dot below and overdates and things like that. I will talk about that at a later video because that needs some pictures rather than just my words. And there's a good conversation here going on in the comments between Peter about the Charles portrait and the Queen's memorial portrait on the $2 folder that doesn't exist, and we don't know when it's being released, and no one does either. That's it for this week. As I said, next week there will be no video. I'm sorry if you were anticipating a video, but we've got other things we need to get on with. I will just say one thing. I will encourage people to remember that Catherine and I have limited time here in the shop, and that it is, despite the fact that we do have a good time in here and we have fun and we enjoy talking to everyone, at the end of the day it is business, and time is money. And if we're selling things online via our social channels and we're selling them very cheap, and by very cheap I mean less than silver value, we will post one or two images along with those items, but there will be no more images because if we're selling things for less than silver value, or we're selling things for less than gold value or whatever, then you're getting a bargain as it is, and we don't have the time to spend another 20 or 30 or 40 minutes taking photos of 65 individual coins for you. So please do remember, when we offer a bargain, that we've put a lot of work into it already, and if you don't like it, you don't have to buy it, and you certainly don't have to send me a rude message about it either. So thanks everyone for that. Have a great couple of weeks. If you can think of anything to talk about in the video in a couple of weeks time, please give us a yell and send us a message, and we'll try and talk about it in a couple of weeks. Alright everyone, happy collecting, stay safe, be happy, remember, have fun. Okay, if it's not fun, find something else to buy. And we'll see you next time, which is in 2 weeks time. Bye for now.